Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ariyatna Nurcahyaningsih. So I will present my thesis proposal for the final research methods in ELT class. So the title is The Effect of Local Language on Students' English Pronunciation Ability at the third semester English students of the Lambung Mangkurat University. So, in the chapter 1 consists of the research background, research objective, significant study, scope and limitation, and the last is the previous studies. So, for the first is research background. We know that one of the four skills in English is speaking. Speaking is one of the important skills that students need to learn or master it because speaking is difficult to learn or master it. And for many people think that the goal of learning English is to be able to speak it. In speaking skills used to communicate or interact to other people, convey an idea, message, and feeling to others. In speaking skills, pronunciation is one of the most important things or parts of English to communicate apart from vocabulary. It's difficult for Indonesian students specifically to pronounce English words correctly because the difference between the English and their local language. And then with the status of foreign language, English is occasionally used outside the classroom, and it's hard to find someone or people use of English in daily conversation in Indonesia. Because of that, Indonesia is counted into the expanding circle because only practiced in several occasions such as academic classes or language institutions. And based on that fact, and based on my experiences, um, outside of the classroom and even during the class, instead of speaking English, the Indonesian students tend to speak Indonesian language or their local language, such as that situation directly affects the Indonesian students' English mastery. And then the next is the research objective. So this objective of this research is to figure out the effect of local language on students' English pronunciation ability at the third semester English students of the Lambung Mangkurat University. And the next, this is the significances of the study. For the first is give information to teachers about the effect of local language on students' English pronunciation ability and become a guide to teacher in planning English language teaching, especially in pronunciation. And the second is give information to other students about the effect of local language on students' English pronunciation ability and become a guide to other students to improve their English pronunciation ability. And the next is the scope and limitation of the study. So, this research will be focused on the effect of local language on students' English pronunciation ability at the third semester English students of the Lambung Mangkurat University. And the last is the previous studies. The main finding of the previous studies is the problems in pronouncing the English sounds in local language. And the similarity is the local language and the difference is this research about the effect of local language in students' English pronunciation ability, and then the previous studies is about the problems in pronouncing the English sounds in local language. And the next, this is the chapter 2. There is a review of literature divided into three. The first is speaking, the second is local language, and the last is the pronunciation. So, for the first, speaking is one of four language skills and used to communicate, interact, convey an idea, feeling to other, message, and hope and tell to other people. And the goal of learning English is to be able to speak it. The second is local language. English competes in the learning process not only with Bahasa or Indonesian language, but also with a variety of languages in Indonesia. And according to BPS 2010, 79.5% of Indonesia use one of the 2,500 local language in their everyday activities. And in Indonesia, it means that the local language is the first language and Indonesian language or Bahasa is the second language. And the last is pronunciation. Pronunciation refers to how a word is pronounced, how a language is spoken, and how a person speaks the word. The development of individual or isolated sounds, as well as the utterance of sentences, phrases, stressing, spelling word utterance, and rhythm intonation are all part of pronunciation. And the last is the research methodology. So, in this study, researcher will use correlation methods and took the third semester English students of the Lambung Mangkurat University as the subject of the research. And the research will be conducted by questionnaire and interview. Questionnaire used to determine their learning habit of speaking English, whether it's influenced by their local language or not. And next, researchers distribute interview as a second primary data to find out more specifically the impact of local language on their speaking pronunciation skills, as well as an oral test for acquiring English speaking skills. So, thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.